Hi everyone, so today we're going to be looking at Atlas Rubicon and look at how we can manage and design our curriculum. So in Atlas, I'm at ishmixrubiconatlas.org website. I'm going to go and find my name. If it's here, I'm kind of assuming it is. There it is. Type in my password, which I'm not going to tell you. Boo-hoo to you. And log in. And we get a sneak preview of something that we're not interested in. Okay, so this is Atlas's user interface, and hopefully when you go into Atlas you'll have some courses set up. Okay, so I've got 2 high school courses, my AP ICT course and middle school ICT course as well. So let's look at how we can start developing a scope and sequence for a course. I'm just going to choose my grade 11 and 12 ICT, and it asks me to create units, and it gives me a calendar as well. So we're going to look at how to use these things. Now I know that in my high school IT course this term, starting in August, the guys are going to be looking at Microsoft Excel, and we're going to be looking at how to collect data from a variety of different people, how to manage that data within Excel, and then how to present that data in meaningful ways, potentially using Microsoft PowerPoint or some other presentation tool. So really we're going to go through a 3-step cycle. Collect the data, manage the data, present the data. Okay? So those are the ideas that I've got together for my units of work for Term 1. So back in Atlas, I really need to start thinking about how I can design that within my curriculum map. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a unit called data collection. And it starts, I think, that's an interesting question. What is all this about? Let's go to Ishmix AAVN website, aavn.edu.vn, and let's try and find the calendar. Where is the calendar? School calendar. So we can see in the school calendar that we started school pretty much the 2nd week of August. So we started in week 2, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 weeks of school until the October break. So we started in the 2nd week, and we've got 9 weeks of school. So those are the ideas that I'm going to take back to Atlas. I started in week 2. I have 9 weeks of lessons, but actually my data collection unit is only going to last a couple of weeks. So for the moment we'll finish that in week 4. I'm just going to make another unit called data management, and I'll show you an easy way to figure all that out. Just drag it to where you want it to start. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea, because it's... Is there any way that I can reorder those? No, that's a shame, isn't it? That was a mistake. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that. If I click on those and drag them, I can just reorder things. That's useful to know. So anyway, data management is actually the 2nd unit. So data collection first, then data management, and then my other unit this term is going to be data presentation. Let's do that little trick again. We'll just mess with this. I'm just going to drag it over, and it starts in week 7 and finishes in week... I'm not sure. Week 8? What does that say? It starts in week 7, it finishes in week 8. So that's two weeks. It starts in week 2 and it finishes in week 4. That's 3 weeks. That's too long. That data collection unit isn't going to be so long. Data management is going to be the longest. There's a lot to cover in that unit. I'm going to assign 3 weeks for that. 2 weeks of data presentation. That comes down here. And then I've probably still got 1 more week of school. I'll figure that out later. Okay, I'll play with this a bit more later. So I've got 3 units set up. Brilliant. Now let's go into one of the units, data collection. Atlas now is going to ask me to start planning this unit. And what it wants is a set of standards that relate to the unit. So I'm going to add some new standards to my data collection unit. I use the technology aero standards, and this is for grade 12. If I've got some grade 10 students, I might have to think, well, which standards are going to be good for grade 10? Probably not end of grade 8 and probably not end of grade 12. So that leaves me in a compromising situation. However, I use these standards as a guide. They're very general. So have a look at them and see if you can find a set of standards that matches what you want to do. So I'm just going to have a look at the end of grade 12 standards for technology. Okay, and these are the standards. 1, 2, 3. 3 of them. 3 sets with a few sub-standards here. So I'm just going to look through these, think about my unit, which is data collection, and think about the kinds of things the students are going to be faced with during those weeks of study. So students will understand basic technology operations and concepts. They will make informed choices among technology systems, resources, and services. This is going to come into my unit because I'm going to be asking the students to select what they think is an appropriate technology for collecting data. There are many different ways to collect data. I'm definitely going to use that. Students will understand the effects of technology on social, ethical, and human issues. They'll analyze advantages and disadvantages of the widespread use of technology. Yeah, because we are going to look at different ways of collecting data and the advantages and disadvantages of those different ways that we can do it. So I am going to select that standard. Demonstrate and advocate for legal and ethical behaviors. Well, we're not going to cover that in this unit. I'm not going to touch that. Students will gather, analyze. Absolutely. Wow. Students will gather, analyze, interpret, synthesize, apply, and communicate information and designs using technology tools. That's exactly what we're doing in this unit. Use technology tools and resources for managing, communicating personal and professional information. We will be doing that. Evaluate technology options. No. Routinely and efficiently use online information. Collaboration. Yes. Select and apply technology tools for research, information analysis, problem solving, and decision making. Possibly. Investigate and apply expert systems. No. Collaborate with peers to contribute to content related knowledge based by using technology to compile, synthesize. Well, how different is that one from that one? I'm going to come back to this later, guys, but at the moment I've selected 4 standards. There they are. So these standards relate specifically to my data collection unit. Okay? And now we come to the enduring understanding section. You make these up with the experience that you've got. Okay? So what I want my students to understand about data collection is that computers and computer memory are great places to store data. There's also a disadvantage with that. Computers and computer memory are not flawless, and data can easily be lost or corrupted. Okay. What are we talking about? We're talking about data collection. Data collection. So an enduring understanding. This is something that I want the students to take away with them, an understanding that they will always have inside them when they finish my course. Why is that red underlined, by the way? Is that not a word? Anyway, an enduring understanding is something that I want my students to take away with them after each class and after the course is finished. Computers and computer memory are great places to store data. Computers and computer memory are not flawless, and data can easily be lost or corrupted. Collecting data. People respond differently when information is presented in different ways. And people are not always 100% reliable when they give answers to data collection questions, such as, how old are you? So these are the enduring understandings that I want the students to be able to take away and really connect with during the course. There may be more, but for the moment, I'm just going to have those 4 enduring understandings. I'm kind of relate these essential questions to the enduring understandings. Essential questions, we're basically getting the students to think by asking questions. And the way that I write these questions is, often I use start with the word how. How can computers be used to store large amounts of data in ways that humans can understand? That's an essential question for this unit. How can designers create meaningful and easily understandable data collection forms? That's a question. And another essential question that I want to ask my students related to this, I want to focus on this enduring understanding here. How can designers minimize the risk of unreliable data being filled into data collection forms? And what I mean by this is, if I give a data collection form, I'm basically talking about a survey, by the way. A data collection form is really just a survey. So you give a survey to a 12-year-old kid and ask how old you are, and the kid writes down 75. You know, people don't often take surveys seriously. So these are the essential questions that I want the students to think about, and we're going to be looking at how to solve these problems within the unit. Okay, this screencast lasts for 15 minutes, and we've nearly hit the end of the time limit. So I'm going to stop in a moment. What we've looked at today is how to create a unit, how to pluck standards from the standards that are available in Atlas Rubicon, how to come up with some enduring understandings for the unit that you're teaching, and how to come up with some essential questions that the students need to think about as they study the course that you're teaching. Okay, so in the next screencast we'll look at content and skills. We're not going to do that today. When you've finished messing around, I always click Save Unit at the bottom of the screen, just to make sure everything is fine. And if I want to go back and see my home page, I just click on My Curriculum. There you go. Okay, so if I want to come back and look at this again, I can just click into the course. This is the design. I can easily say, okay, data presentation, actually I've changed my mind, I want to delete that. You can delete courses, units very quickly and easily. You can just delete that. And then you can click into your units and start to design the actual curriculum map. Okay? Alright, that's all for today. Thank you very much. I'm going to go back to my curriculum. I'm going to give myself a big pat on the back, and I'm going to log out.